Loading snacks.
What's good, Lotus Snacks Universe? Your boy Jokes is here. I got the homie Marcus. And you know
Yeah.
what time it is? It's time for another edition of the Finisher Podcast.
Finisher.
Sir, we are at episode 9. We are making some good leeway here. How you doing today, man?
I'm feeling good, man. Feeling great. You know, just fresh off of watching the PLE. So yeah, man. Let's get to it.
I feel you. I'm a little tired. I just came straight from StellarCon in York, Pennsylvania, and I was like, I'm coming home because we still got to talk about some wrestling. So
Some good old fashioned wrestling.
ain't nothing gonna stop that. But just to kind of go through the same rigmarole with you guys, this is the Finisher Podcast where we just get on here. We just talk about all things happening that are in wrestling, whether it be current events, past events, or just things that we want to get off of our chest and talk about in wrestling. So as the usual, we're going to have some topics that we're going to discuss. A couple topics everybody, of course, are going to be able to listen to or watch depending on where you're consuming this from. And then there will be a topic that is going to be exclusive to Patreon. And the only way to hear that topic is, of course, is to come over patreon.com/loading snacks, where you'll be able to get that final topic that will be exclusive to you guys. But other than that, you guys can watch the rest of this, whether you're on YouTube, Facebook, where it may be at. We're going to post it in those different areas for you. But yeah, I just want to jump on in. Marcus, I want to let you have first up today. Like I want to kind of continue what we were having a conversation about a little while ago, but I want to let you start. I want to let you start things out. So
Okay,
we're
I
gonna
think
go ahead and give Marcus the floor.
Okay, I believe the last thing that we talked about last week was certain personnel worth the cost of the wrestling budget. And I think going into multiple promotions, I think that is a big factor for a lot of companies, whether certain newer or semi-new talent is worth it. And to start this off, I'm gonna say whoever picks up Dolph Ziggler, aka Nic Nemeth, who is currently under a TNA right now, is a huge grab. Because people call him the next Shawn Michaels. I say Nic Nemeth is Nic Nemeth, and he knows how to sell phenomenally. He knows how to engage the crowd, whether it be as a face or as a heel. And I think that is a prime pickup, and I can't wait to see what else he does on the TNA brand.
Yeah, Nick is like, listen, I have loved Nick since obviously Dolph Ziggler days in WWE. Like, he has been an overall solid performer since the day he jumped into wrestling.
I would say that he was a big star since the Spirit Squad, and that Spirit Squad wasn't even for him.
Listen, the Spirit Squad for everything wasn't supposed to be a long rainy thing. Like, that was supposed to be like a couple instances and then like just gone. But they actually ended up going over well with the crowd. I guess you say in that heel standpoint, so it worked. But for a lot of those that don't know, Dolph Ziggler was originally in the Spirit Squad, and he was what was his name in Spirit Squad?
I don't even remember
It was Nikki.
Yeah, Nikki. Yeah, there we go.
And for everything, like, Spirit Squad should have just been an absolute joke. But the thing was, they had some solid performers within the Spirit Squad, which really helped motivate and move them along. And of course, Dolph, through his time in WWE, had amazing runs, but it just got to the point eventually he just became, I don't want to say comic relief, but this dude couldn't win a match to save his life. And it was the weirdest thing. And he just got in this purgatory of just being stuck in the mid card and just being the guy that everybody walked over to get to the next step.
And then a remarkable thing happened. Hey, I'm Dolph Ziggler.
But it's like I hated what happened to him. And maybe if he'd have been around a little bit longer and made it to this era, this time frame that we are currently in right now within WWE, I feel like maybe he would have had a better spot.
I
Um,
don't know. I don't know
it's
about that.
I agree. Like it's hard to say, but I feel like maybe with the mix of some of the current stars on the roster, he he probably some of the younger talent. Like by all means, Dolph Ziggler's not old, but this dude is. I would say he's still he's getting to that point where the prime is probably going to start tapering off soon. So I think over these next few years, we're probably going to get that last solid good run. And like right now, between him with TNA and New Japan, when he won it, hey, listen, I wasn't expecting him to go right to New Japan and pick up the championship right off the break. I thought he was going to go in and do some good stuff.
Hey, that reminds me of like it should have been me. Like that
It's,
whole should have been me. He switched straight to New Japan. Was like it is me.
and I loved that. Like just off, like I just finished. I watched Against All Odds, and we heard that he teamed up with his brother, which before TNA, like obviously they had both been in the wrestling business for some time. But due to, of course, Nick being in WWE and his brother, I know at one point was there, but their time frames just didn't get aligned, and Ryan just couldn't make it to main card territory. So they never had that opportunity to actually partner together, fight one another. None of that happened. But now we're getting to see the two of them together. And I got to say, I thought they did a pretty damn good job. Like, obviously, they're brothers. So they already have that natural chemistry
Yep.
that's gonna be there already. But when you take a Nic Nemeth who already is stellar, and you take his brother who, don't get me wrong, not bad at all. Dude is solid.
Yep.
It's a good combination for it. But I do hope we get to see Nick have one more major run, like whether it be the TNA championship. I don't know if he'll step back over to AEW, but right now with the partnership that TNA and WWE have, listen, this is a weird spot now that a couple of them are in. Nic Nemeth, Matt Hardy, who else?
Hardy.
Jeff Hardy now, who of course just made his return. Mustafa Ali. These names that WWE in that last big layoff wave that they did. I don't want to say that the door is not open for them, but I feel like it could be a little weird. Now, granted,
imagine if he won the TNA World Championship and Royal Rumble comes around and he's entry number like 16.
Hey, listen. Nic Nemeth shows up in the Royal. People will lose it. Like, people love Dolph Ziggler. Like, the dude was likable. He was likable. He was hateable. And then when he picked whichever one he was going after, he made sure that you were on board with it. And that's the sign of a good performer there. But it's just, obviously, with Triple H kind of in control of creative and having a good rapport with a lot of the wrestlers, I wonder what that would look like with like a Nick or like a Mustafa Ali potentially, making that bridge back over. Like, I don't see them like trying to come back full time or anything like that to WWE, but it could be maybe it'll be a little bit of a washing that bad taste out of their mouth. Tripp's kind of being like, you know what? I want you to come back. I want you to do a good performance, and then kind of to smooth things over, because obviously it wasn't under the Triple H banner, and I feel like maybe that would just be a little bit of a palate cleanser for him. Not necessarily that we're trying to bring you back over, but just a palate cleanser from what happened for it. But Like, but definitely, I'm eager to see what he can do, and some of the others, like, la- against all odds, the which one am I thinking of? Oh, Mustafa Ali
Oh
and
yeah,
Trent Seven. Hey, listen, oh, that was a hell of a match, and Trent Seven, of course, was in NXT, so he's no stranger to the whole entire side of things as well.
yep.
Um, I just love seeing what these dudes can do. When I say spread your wings when you leave WWE. Like a lot of people consider WWE to be the tip of the iceberg. Like that's the mecca of where you want to go to. I get a lot of people at the end of the day, they want to go to WWE at some point, experience it before they finally retire or leave the business. But some of these stars clearly have left WWE and have then made their names on themselves, which I think honestly, Matt Cardona is probably the biggest one that
Oh
potentially has come
yeah,
out of there
the indie wrestling god.
and reinvented himself. But I'm eager to see what Nic Nemeth can do still in this time that he has. Um, this dude still has it. It's just a matter of if the company is going to, you know what, we think you got it. We want you to be the one. Like right now, I don't see it happening. The company TNA, Moose is solid. I know a lot of people they don't like Moose, but I think dude is solid. Um, and now that we have this whole TNA WWE thing, hey
Pseudo
listen,
alliance, pseudo alliance.
hey listen, Moose is already trying to get at Drew McIntyre. And we'll go. Unfortunately, Drew did not win the World Heavyweight Championship. Hey, so it will not be a champion versus champion match. But I still wouldn't mind seeing Moose versus Drew McIntyre. I think that could be an interesting matchup. And the two of them have already, hey, let's just talk to the bosses. Um, it's just going to be one of those hard things though when neither company is going to want to have one of their main guys lose. It's like I would love to be in the room with having that type of conversation because that has got to be one of the most uncomfortable, disgusting conversations that you could potentially have.
Yeah,
But in the sake of business, you got to have it. Like, listen, Survivor Series, we can have one of those old fashioned and just do WWE versus TNA. That could be an absolute amazing thing that we end up getting to. I just hope that maybe we can edge closer and closer to something like that once again. It I don't want people to be like it's a fake invasion angle if they try to do their whole entire thing, but I think if done right, it could work. And I think the right
hey,
people
in this era of wrestling, there's no such thing as an invasion because as people have stated, doors are opening, windows are opening. It's no longer an invasion. This is good old prime, old school, healthy competition. And if you're not, I hate to say this, if you're not going to want to sit at the table, there's the door.
you just need to get out the way. That's all. Hey, listen, that's all it is. And so, you know what? I think this is a perfect segue to go into just like briefly before we can shift back because we're already talking about it. So I think this will be a good time to just throw it in the mix here. The WWE collapse, like we were talking about it on the last episode, with having Jordan Grace coming over from TNA to NXT and vice versa. And obviously, she, like we said once before, she's no stranger. She did it at the Royal Rumble in the Women's Rumble match.
Yep.
Had an amazing performance there. But now we are starting to see other doors opening, which I can say these doors kind of were already open, or we were already in the mix of doing it. So let me go pull this image up that happened at Marigold's last event that they have, where they announced Utami Hayashita is going to be taking on Io Sky.
Woo.
Now, for those that are not familiar with Utami, um, she is like one of Japan's biggest female stars. A lot of people do compare her to like the likes of an Okada, who now, if you're familiar with watching AEW, I still, for a lot of you still haven't watched Prime Okada, and I highly recommend that you go watch some of his matches in New Japan. You can go watch all 4 matches with Kenny Omega because every single one of those are fire. But she is like the equivalent to like Okada in the women's division when it comes time for it. Now, we already knew the door for Marigold had already been cracked open when we saw Gia and also the owner of Marigold sitting ringside during I believe that was WrestleMania weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So we already knew that there was something in the works. And at first we just thought it was going to be her. But when you have the owner of the company, not to mention, of course, he was a part of Stardom, and he left and created his own company. And just to give you the insight, gentleman's name slips my mind right now.
Rosie?
Highly respected, I believe. Highly respected. And when he left and created his own competition or his own version, a lot of stars left to come go with him. And that says a lot. Especially when you're in a good place. One, when you're someone that holds a championship. To have someone that holds a championship to leave the company to go to a brand new startup, that kind of says something. That says a lot. So this is just our first go at seeing where this is going to lead to. And Io Sky obviously is no stranger to Japan.
Oh no! I just need them subtitles though. I want to know what they're saying.
But to have her be able to go back and to perform and put on a clinic potentially with her is going to be absolutely amazing. Now this match, honestly, I feel could go either way. I know WWE does not want their people to lose, but when you take the likes of these two, I really feel like, this match could go either way. And I don't think I would be mad if Io actually lost this match. Io's had a solid run.
I would not be disappointed if she lost, because hey, like this is a startup, and we need to get more names, more eyes viewed to the product. Okay, this match is going to be a great 5-star, 6-star, 10-star match. Let them cook, and no matter who wins, both companies will receive that revenue.
100%. And as these partnerships happen, it puts eyes on a product that necessarily somebody hasn't watched. Like, let's be real, there's probably a lot more of the outside looking in on WWE than it is folks that are watching WWE watching to the outside.
And just the name Io Sky holds weight because of that's her name in WWE. People know her. Like, she's just coming off of a very big rivalry with Bayley, and that's from WrestleMania weekend. And going into this new promotion, that's going to bring, I like Io Sky. She's going to be a part of this. I'm going to go watch this.
100%. And not to mention,
Damage Control is going to be there.
That was literally what I was going to say. That was literally what I was going to go into.
Segue
is to say that there ain't no way she does not go over there and not bring Damage Control with her. Like, unfortunately,
at least Asuka and Kairi Sane. Maybe not.
Asuka, unfortunately, right now was on the shelf. I didn't know that Asuka was actually hurt. She posted, and I don't know if she had surgery or whatever, but she posted an image of her with like a boot, like in a wheelchair at one point in time. So I don't know if it's like, like a major injury, or if this is just, hey, I sprained it, or like it's a fracture. It is going to take a few weeks that I'm going to be out. But listen, there's time enough for this to cook. This is not going to be a one and done type of thing.
Oh no.
Um, and if by some chance Io were to lose, and then Asuka steps back up when she's fully healed, could be a thing. I don't know.
Big things, big things. And you know what? I don't want to bring this up, but I would say that this is all because of Forbidden Door.
Hey, listen. Let's be real. The Tony Khan with Forbidden Door. I'm trying not to be the pun here, but I think
hard, right?
I think the Forbidden Door truly actually opened up a door.
Exactly.
But let's be real here. The person that did not want to open the door was Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon was the one that did not want to open any doors. And once, unfortunate circumstances of how he had to get put aside, Tripp's coming in and kind of, assuming really that true leader role. And we've just seen the differences in the product since that has happened. The collaborations, listen, the commentary teams, things just sound more fluid when they're not forcing certain buzzwords and things that just have to
dialogue.
Be thrown.
Like it's still pretty scripted and written down, but I'm just gonna keep it a buck. My man Pat McAfee, off the cuff, every Raw, off the cuff. I will keep it a buck. I don't think any of that is scripted. Pat McAfee is Pat McAfee through and through, 100% genuine article commentator.
100%. I think he gets a lot more leeway than a lot of the rest of them. Michael Cole being, I would say the leader of the commentating team. He has his style, which is more of that calculated formula, I think that you could say, with the few tidbits.
Commentary. Yep.
But when you have Michael Cole, who's really sticking to like the book, and then you have the Pat McAfee that kind of goes off the rails, I find they find that good balance. They find that good balance with each other.
I feel like that dynamic is similar to JR and Michael Cole, where JR was the one that was more so by the book, and Michael Cole was the one kind of not off the rails like Pat McAfee, but he definitely was a very colorful commentator with, because I remember a time where people hated Michael Cole because
listen, Michael Cole had heat. Like, listen, dude was a bona fide heel himself on commentary at one point, and it was amazing. It was amazing to the point he even had matches. Like, obviously he wasn't gonna win, but it was like,
I mean, he's still undefeated at WrestleMania.
Hey, listen, I guess the WrestleMania stat is really the only one that can count the majority of the time. So, Undertaker lost his undefeated streak, so somebody else has got to start with an undefeated streak. So I guess it's Michael Cole that'll never budge from there.
Nah, Bianca has an undefeated streak at WrestleMania
for now, as we see how things go along. Especially if they're going to end up leading up to like her and Jade potentially. We'll see. Yeah. They lost their championships tonight.
As we knew what was going to happen.
I didn't quite think that was going to happen.
We talked about this. We talked. Well, for those listening and for those watching, Jokes, myself, and Sin had a separate side conversation about this topic, about whether or not Bianca and Jade would drop the tag team championships. Because, as if you don't know, you will know now. This is not a spoiler, it's a fact. Bianca's pregnant, and congratulations to her and Montez Ford.
They haven't confirmed that, but we need the actual confirmation. Like, for all whatever. If it is, cool. Congratulations.
If that is, I'll recant my statement in case it turns out not to be a thing. But if it is a thing, congratulations. And of course, she's going to be not on the shelf, but out of
That's
the
kind of
WWE ring for a good while. And I can't wait for her to return and dominate and continue to be that positive force in the African American melanated community that that company so desperately needs in the women's division.
good with that. And if it is that way, if she can also until that day she can come back, she can just be the mouthpiece in the hype woman for Jade. Like Jade didn't have the she's looking better, but tonight there was a little polishing that needed to be done. But listen, there were some bad spots all night, and like I'm just not contributing to one person. Listen, nerves. I don't care how much of a professional you are. When you go out there, those nerves can hit, and unfortunate things happen.
Yep.
It is. It's the nature of the business. It is what it is. You pick yourself
No
up.
one
You
can be
keep
perfect
moving,
100% of the time.
other than Mr. Perfect. Um, but yeah, it was a little rough. But hey, listen, you get up, you keep going. That's all you can do. But to kind of tie in, finish up, wrapping up the collab thing. So after we found out about the marigold thing, the next morning we got another post. Now I'm gonna post the most recent one that they just did because this was from today. So let me go ahead and I'm gonna share this screen. So Pro Wrestling Noah. So as of now, this will be for us here in the States. It's going to be like 2 a.m. for us.
Yep.
But they have a major announcement between Noah and WWE at the Yokohama Buntai event. The message from a certain wrestler will also be revealed. Now, the last time this happened, we had Shinsuke Nakamura show up to Pro Wrestling Noah to take on the Great Muta in his retirement match over there, which that was probably the first opening of a door that we really saw. Cause let's like listen, Shinsuke is not a stranger to Pro Wrestling Noah, New Japan Pro Wrestling, but to have him go over and of course be introduced as WWE superstar Shinsuke Nakamura at Pro Wrestling Noah. Listen, I'm already up at 2 a.m. and 3 a.m. watching New Japan, but this had me wake up at 2 a.m. Actually, I think that one may have been 1. It wasn't so bad. But to have him go over there and to have Great Muta's farewell match over there before, of course, getting inducted into the Hall of Fame. This could be a very, very interesting thing. I want to get your input on this. And like right now, I don't quite have a grasp on who I think it is, other than of course having Shinsuke going back over there again. But Shinsuke hasn't been on TV now in a little while, so I don't know if they necessarily would use Shinsuke again in this situation, just not having him on TV. I don't know if we're gonna go the NXT route, because it seems like right now the feeder for everything is using NXT to kind of introduce those wrestlers into a different division. But that's not to say that they don't take somebody from the main card. For all we know, Cody is just going to show up on screen to make the announcement. It may not necessarily be him involved in a match or whatever.
I mean, that would make what's best for business is having your champion make the announcement, and then the actual star comes out. But for what I think who it is, I think it actually may be Ricochet. Contract is about to expire. He's already talked about, I'm kind of done with WWE. He's not a stranger to the New Japan. The New Japan feel and style of wrestling. So Noah, what a way to kick off a potential starting point in his new endeavors is I wrestled at Noah.
Listen, I'm not mad at that, because Ricochet, I feel like during previous regime, that Ricochet kind of got bottled a little bit, and we didn't get that like Prince Puma type. Now, don't get me wrong, Ricochet has had some amazing matches in WWE, but I would say he hasn't been able to really truly get his feet in the dirt and being able to get a championship and grind with it for the while. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, WWE, the little speed championship thing, I'm still a little lukewarm about that.
I
Like,
feel like they was like, okay, we're gonna make a brand new championship, call it the Speed Championship, but you don't showcase your Speed Champion. Like, I get it's supposed to be a short segment, but that man is your Speed Champion. Like, he should come out with the Speed Championship
he
belt.
should have the speed championship. Listen, that was one thing that bugged me, was the fact that he was champion and he would still come out on Raw, but you don't have your speed championship with you. Obviously, I get that it's not defended on the main card. Like, I get that.
Yeah, but it was like, oh, this man has a belt and it's called Speed. And what is this about? Let me go Google what this Speed Championship is all about. Oh, there's this every Wednesday. This man is defending this belt every Wednesday and like 60 minute 60 second
Oh God,
to 120 second match. And I'm just like, yeah, like, you should watch Speed. I'm not going to say watch Speed because I will keep it a buck. I'm not watching Speed on the
Hey, listen, it's 3 minutes. If you're sitting on break at lunch, you can at least just watch the 3 minutes and be fine. But
yeah, that doesn't happen quite often. But for all of you listening and watching, if you have that spare 3-5 minutes, you can go ahead and watch like a couple matches on Speed right there on the rebranded X. And I'm not talking about that X. I'm talking about Twitter. Get your mind off the gun.
But I like the Ricochet. I like the Ricochet angle. Like, that would be a reason why you let the contract run out, and then potentially, hey, Ricochet, we want to part on good terms, but at the same time, let us open the door with like Pro Wrestling Noah, and maybe you're technically not going over there, and they're gonna call WWE Superstar Ricochet. Maybe that first initial time they introduce you, they'll introduce you as WWE or ex WWE Superstar Ricochet, but then from there, it's you going on to establish this new persona identity that you're going to do, if you're going to continue to use Ricochet, or if you're going to change it to something else and go from there. That could be an interesting thing. I was thinking maybe if we go the NXT route, let's say, of course, Cody
Finn
makes,
Balor would be a good choice.
Finn would be a good choice.
And then we could get Prince Devitt. And actually,
I don't know if they.
Ooh, that would be so nice. And then he would come out to the Bullet Club door because he's a Bullet Club OG. Oh, that would be so nice.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see it being Finn right now. But if we're gonna do NXT, technically, I could see Gallows and Anderson, even with Mia Yim. I can see the three of them going over there and causing a little havoc. Gallows and Anderson are due for some type of decent run. Obviously, with AJ doing his thing right now. Now, AJ, of course, lost to. I still hate that whole I Quit thing. This is one of those matches that's just like, neither one of the two of these two dudes should be saying I quit. Like, if Cody was a heel, I could understand AJ quitting because if he's going to do some underhanded tactic, like going after, like, how like they went after Sami Zayn's wife. Like, I can understand something like that.
Homelander Cody.
And listen, Homelander Cody may have shown face ever so slightly in the match, because Moms, we're not gonna get too into that, but Moms was, Cody won the match and still hit my man with the steel steps afterwards. It was a little Homelander-ish. I saw it in his eyes.
Hey, for all of you listening and watching, make sure you go on Twitter and you find that there's a clip of Agent being hit with a chair, and it makes the Sonic Rings effect with the Sonic Rings and the various other cartoon effects. It is A1 meme quality gold. I strongly recommend you check that out at your own leisure. I mean, if you got time to watch Speed, you got time to check out, that short little clip.
But but I feel like this could be in many ways. Like I could even see. Listen, if we're gonna go champion, maybe it's Trick. Maybe they have Trick Williams go over there, which could be you have the NXT champion versus the Pro Wrestling Noah champion. That could be an interesting beat to go to. But once again, you got
or it could be the newly crowned women's North American champion.
It could be the newly crowned women's North American champion. Absolutely. Like there's so much. Honestly, I feel as though almost anybody WWE sends over, especially if it's a champion, could be a solid look over there. But I still feel like you may want to have, someone of that familiar taste to go over there. So Gallows.
I mean, if that's happening 2:00 our time, that means they're already over there, which means they weren't at
Ooh, I didn't think about that. From Glasgow to Japan, hey, look that up. How far of a flight would that be?
I can tell you right now, it's over 16 hours. It's over 16 hours.
Damn, it's still a hefty fight. So no, that ain't gonna be.
Yeah. So anyone that we've seen on the PLE today is not currently there. If they did, man, that is a super fighter jet level speed going from Glasgow, Scotland, all the way to Noah.
So yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. But listen, there was still a number of stars that were not on the PLE. So absolutely, like anybody on NXT could show up, and then we still had main card folk that were not on the PLE that could easily go into Japan and do this. Like obviously we've known for a very long time WWE is trying to gain traction in Japan. And I know the original route was, let's just go over there and just do NXT Japan. Unfortunately, we know how laws and things work. You're not going to easily be able to just go over there and just start NXT right off the break. But having the partnership with Marigold, I think is kind of the good edge into potentially being able to establish whether it be like NXT Japan or just a WWE presence. Like
19 hours and 42 minutes. And that's just
that's with no delays and just being able to get on a plane and just
go. I believe that is that's actually from that's from Aberdeen, UK to Japan. So, and that's the fastest.
It's crazy. We know the world is a big place, but then when you start actually quantifying some of these actual times,
and that's what's a stop. They have to stop in France and then connect to France and then go to Japan. That's wild.
That's insane. So yeah. Nobody on the PLE is going to show up in Japan, or at least not live. Cody may go into a room somewhere and record a bit to send over there, but I think that's how you do it. If it's not Cody, you have either your WWE champion, your World Heavyweight champion, your NXT champion, one of your women champions on any of the shows, be able to present that. I only say it's not the women's one right now just for the fact that EO is going to do the Marigold thing, and it's just not to take away from that.
I mean, she's not the champion, so it could. Was Bayley at the PLE?
Oh, Bayley had a match.
Yeah. So it's not Bayley, and it's not the former women's tag team champions. It's not the new women's tag team champions. It's not the world heavyweight champion, and it's definitely not the WWE champion. So the list is kind of running short on who it could be, and you know who it could be? R-Truth.
Listen. if R-Truth goes over there, I won't be mad. Like, if he goes over his comedic R-Truth, whatever. But just imagine if we could get like NWA Ron Killings to go over there and to challenge whoever. If this is what it's going to take for us to get Ron Killings in WWE, is to have him go over there. Hey, look, here's the bit. He goes over there, he becomes the most serious version of himself ever. And then the moment he steps back in the States, he's just typical R-Truth. And the Miz says, what happened when you went over there? What happened when you went over there?
I didn't go nowhere. I was right here with you. Comedic gold.
That guy, Ron Killings, and he a killer. I don't know why they let him go over there. That could be an interesting thing. I feel like that ways that doesn't matter who WWE is to over Pro Wrestling Noah. I feel like it could work out stupendously. It could just be, for all we know, it could just be William Regal showing up to make the announcement. Now listen,
William Regal, John Cena is also a prime candidate depending on his work schedule.
And you know what? I almost forgot.
He's a spokesperson.
I almost forgot. His son went over to Pro Wrestling Noah at one point. Was it Noah or was it? I'm more than certain it was Noah that he went over there and wrestled one time, maybe twice. But I'm eager to see how this goes. But then I want to start to see the return. We're having WWE stars going other places. I want to see them bring faces over. Now, obviously, the average WWE viewer is probably not going to know a lot of those foreign talent. But when certain people see certain talent show up, like, it's going to be one of those, like, who is this guy? Nigga, listen. This is the dude in Pro Wrestling Noah. Because, like, they have an equivalent over there to Okada. I forget dude's name because I just don't watch Noah like that. But with this type of thing, this is how you now get me to really start jumping into it. And Wrestle Universe is easily accessible. Like, it's just like New Japan World, where you can get in and watch their events. I just love how Japan is making all of their content just so easily accessible. And, you know, just on the ease of accessibility, you know, after the PLE went off, Clash of the Castle, you know, Triple H made a remark about WWE shifting and moving over to Netflix come January. And literally he's like, after January, 80% of the world can watch WWE at an instant notice. And, you know, not even thinking, obviously Netflix is worldwide, but that number, 80% of the world.
Hey, if you got Wi-Fi, you can watch WWE on Netflix. You got a phone, you can watch WWE on Netflix.
It's just insane. And now, when you start having these partnerships with like Marigold and Noah, and these events are happening live over here, now granted, they're gonna get a taste of their own medicine. They're gonna have to sit up until like 2 a.m. their time to watch said WWE event, or a lot of it.
That's my biggest thing is continuing the PLE structure, and with WWE going in their content being moved to Netflix. Mm-hmm. How does viewing like Raw happen now, which is supposed to be live, and there's no live TV on Netflix, and if this becomes the first kind of like a Hulu type thing where it's live on Netflix, like live TV, then we can see other shows, other like the doors and possibilities will forever be changed on that Netflix platform, because WWE being the first actual live show, episodic show on Netflix will be a huge thing, because it's not pre-recorded, it's not taped, it's live until like they go overseas. Then of
Oh,
course
well, they
will
obviously will have.
no, because it will still be live. Because
Well,
over there
technically, with
it will be
the
live.
Netflix,
It will
you
be
don't have to
streamed live, and then you could go back and watch the
watch it.
broadcast.
That's very valid. That is very valid.
So this is definitely we're reaching some uncharted territories because
But yeah, these
it's
pieces of the puzzle are going together. Like there's you making these international moves, and you get with an international broadcaster that is already in the pockets of almost every single person on the planet, and they already have it. Majority of people got Netflix, and
hey
so
Netflix just sent out a message was like, yeah, we got to up our prices a little bit just to let
hey,
you know.
listen, you better get with one of the carriers that allows you to have Netflix on them. But I feel like after a while, the whole WWE edition, they're going to end up doing something, just like you said. It's raise the price, or there's going to be a certain package that you have to have. That would be absolutely disgusting.
All I know is I want to go through like just how you have seasons of shows. There are seasons of Raw. There are seasons of SmackDown. There are seasons of NXT. I want to go back and watch. Like unfiltered, unedited because it was unedited at the time. I want to go back and watch those old shows. Like all those previous episodes. Like no one talks about going back and watching The Simpsons when they was talking all that shenanigans and stuff and it being blurred out. No, unfiltered, unhinged. Let me just watch what I want to watch. If I want to go back and watch the Attitude Era, I'm going to go back and watch the Attitude Era. If I want to go back and watch the beginnings of WWF, WW, whatever it was called at the time.
Just add an extra W. It's just a third W in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like
WWF.
No, WWF.
Yeah,
I believe it was
WWF.
instead of it just being World Wrestling Federation, it was like Worldwide Wrestling Federation. Something like that. It was like somebody just like
lose the first W.
Get rid of a W. Get rid of a W. But yeah, we're halfway through the year. We're halfway through the year, and the wrestling landscape has changed so much. So much. Like partnerships and things that we never thought we would ever see at points in time. We're seeing these barriers broke down, which honestly makes me happy because it just allows more people to get more involved with certain things maybe they never watched. And I love that. Like we know there are true diehard WWE fans that watch nothing but WWE. They don't watch NXT. I mean, they don't watch TNA. They don't watch AEW. They only watch WWE. But maybe being exposed to like a Japanese promotion just because of how different it is will open that door. Like I try not to use that anymore. Like Triple H already is like this proverbial door. Like when he said that, it's just like it is what it is. He just buried like the forbidden door right then and there. That was funny. But if all this goes through, I don't know. I don't know if Tony can call that pay-per-view anymore Forbidden Door, because honestly,
I mean, he technically can because, like, sure, a lot of other promotions like allow other free agent stars to participate in their show, but to actually like bring over a good portion of another promotion's roster is huge. And just, I know you're not caught up on Heels, and Heels is no longer a thing, but this is sort of like a Heels thing. And if for those of you who don't know, Heels is a wrestling TV show, or was a wrestling TV show, which starred Stephen Amell, and CM Punk was on the show, and his wife was on the show, and a couple other people that you probably have seen in the background on some of these other promotions are also in said show. Strongly recommend you watch it. There's 2 seasons out right now. You can't see me right now for those of you who are listening, but 2 fingers are up. 2 seasons.
Hope is they'll be able to continue it. But last thought on this, and then we'll shift into the Patreon, is just as we see these partnerships and things evolving, like I would love us to be able to get to a point where we could have like the Olympics of wrestling, and how we can just it doesn't matter what promotion or who you tied to, we can just have everyone come together and we put on matches never seen before, and you just factor in, and I would love stars from WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan, Ring of Honor, Noah, indie
GCW,
promotion, GCW, any of these
Triple
other
A.
indie, AAA, any of these promotions can send their stars,
It's in the best of
and
the best.
we just have bomb matches. It could be a tournament bracket. What if it needs to be like Tekken? If that's where we're going to, and like whatever country or whichever promotion wins now has like,
Hey,
like,
don't mention that, because Kenny Omega will be the first one on the flight. Kenny Omega will be the first one on the flight.
I hope Kenny get well. Like I miss having Kenny in the ring. I know a lot of people are like, well, AEW Kenny's not the same as New Japan Kenny. Nah, this Kenny is he's thinking smarter. He's just thinking smarter.
He's kind of like Mayweather, and I hate doing that segue. But it's like, okay, Mayweather, okay, he was knocking people out, okay, messed up his hand, got a concussion, couple concussions, messed up his hands. All right, we're not gonna get hit no more. We done getting hit. We now gonna play chess, and we gonna win off points now. Kenny Omega, he was like, man, I can put on the 5-star, 10-star matches. My history speaks for itself. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and go out, have fun, and stay healthy. This is what we're getting. We're getting a health conscious Kenny Omega, who's trying to stay in his prime and do everything he can to still produce those 5-star matches.
Hey, listen, if we got to get one more Omega Okada match on the AEW turf, like, I'm hoping that everything can come in a positive light for Kenny. Like, we know he's going through it, but listen, I want Kenny Omega back. I love Kenny. Can't go against dude. But at the end of the day, I just want to be able to see all these wrestling promotions just come together. Hey, listen, they just be like, listen, send us your best. Just do it, wherever the main, and then like we just have the tournaments, or we just have these matches in like everybody's home. We can go to the Tokyo Dome. We can come back to the state. You could pick a stadium here. Like, obviously, there's too many here in the States. Tokyo is the Tokyo Dome. You got the one place that you could go to where
I think it would be Texas.
Texas?
I think it would be Texas. I mean, if you're going by a dome, from the Tokyo Dome sample, it's probably going to be Texas.
DC, listen.
DC don't have a dome.
Listen, it's time to get rid of the old RFK, and we need to build a new state of the. Now, granted, I know the Commanders aren't quite up the scruff. We could take that new stadium and do some other things with it. Knock down old RFK, give us a new RFK. I need WrestleMania in DC. I need to be able to.
I mean, for all of that, you can just might as well say, get rid of FedEx, get rid of RFK, merge them into a Superdome.
I don't care which one you do. Like FedEx, if the Commanders end up moving out of Largo and then going back into DC, listen, get rid of the old RFK, build a state of the. You can still call it RFK. Just build a state of the art dome RFK, just so we can get a WrestleMania in our backyard. Damn it,
bro! That belt is about to be serious.
I don't mind driving up to New York, but if I could just have it in the backyard. And listen, the only issue.
Heck, it was in Philly. We ain't take that drive to Philly.
I know. But listen, the only thing that's hurting if that new RFK, if they did it, there's no like just hotels right in.
That's the problem.
That's Southeast. Nope. No. For those
See
of
that
you
dark
not familiar
shadowy
with
place?
DC,
We don't go there. That's
we don't go there. Just give us that, and then we could have like this type of thing in our own backyard. That's for another show. Um, we're gonna wrap things up so we can shift on, but that's been the beginning part of the Finisher podcast. Let us know, chime in with your thoughts on those topics that we talked about. Um, there's just so much going on. We could go on for hours,
And
but
if there are any specific matches or areas in wrestling that you want us to take a look at, watch, or even have a watch party, feel free to comment, let us know, and
let us
we'll
know.
we'll put it into consideration.
Listen, I got some of y'all that have contacted me personally. Whether it's we've talked personally, walked in each other, you've sent me a message. Listen, I appreciate the feedback. I know some of y'all be asking us like, yo, let me get on there and talk with you. You know, I'm about that. We about that. So we just got to line some things up, figure out what we're going to do, what we're going to talk about, and go from there. But I appreciate every single one of y'all that is either listening or that is currently watching right now. Just you spending a little bit of time with us, it puts smiles on our faces. We know when these go live, you comment in it, we can chat alongside with you when we still jump in there and talk to you, even after the thing is over. But it just puts smiles on our faces when we see you guys in the chat afterwards, just having conversations and banter back and forth about what we talk about. We just want to keep this going. We love wrestling. We know you do as well too. And there's so many topics to go into.
Oh yeah. And if not only if you're a wrestling fan, if you like Star Wars or Marvel, check out that Beacons link. Check out the Patreon. There is content there for you. If you like anime and manga, check out that Beacons link. We got a whole separate chat and a whole different segment that drops every Thursday and Friday.
And stay tuned.
Just for you guys.
Like I said, I'm fresh in from StellarCon York, so you guys be on the lookout for that content coming. Gage is on stage hosting pretty much all the panels. I was recording video, taking pictures, like I'm running back and forth. We had a good time at Stellar, so just be on the lookout for that content coming as well too. But for the homie Marcus, thank you guys for tuning in to the beginning part of the Finisher. We're going to go ahead, jump out of here, and we're going to shift gears and head to our Patreon topic. But for the rest of you guys, we will catch you on the next episode of the Finisher podcast. We'll catch you guys later.
What's good, Loading Snacks Universe? Did you think that was too sweet? Well, do me a favor. Like, share, and subscribe on whatever platform you're watching us on. And also, jump on over to patreon.com/loading snacks where you can support us in everything we do and pick the tier of your choice. Much appreciated.